Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt that something was off? Like their smile wasn't real, like their words were painted with hidden colors you couldn't quite see? Deep inside, you sensed a weight, a strange heaviness that left you questioning yourself, wondering if you were imagining things. That feeling is not random. It is your intuition whispering that envy or falsehood may be present. And the truth is, most people ignore that voice. They brush it aside, convincing themselves that everyone means well. But ignoring it comes with a price. Because when envy hides in plain sight, it can quietly drain your energy, dull your confidence, and make you question your own worth. Think about how much of your life is built on trust. You trust your friends to support you. You trust your family to wish you well. You trust colleagues to celebrate your growth. But what if behind the mask of encouragement, some of them secretly resent you? What if their compliments are laced with bitterness, their silence loaded with judgment, their actions meant to pull you down rather than lift you up? It may sound uncomfortable, but facing this truth is powerful. Because once you see envy and falsehood for what they are, you free yourself from being controlled by them. The people who envy you are often those who see something in you they crave but cannot create for themselves. It is not your fault that your light unsettles their shadows. It is not your responsibility to shrink so they feel more comfortable. When you recognize envy, you are not learning to hate others. You are learning to protect your peace. You are learning to draw boundaries so your growth cannot be poisoned by silent resentment. And when you recognize falsehood, you are not becoming cold or cynical. You are becoming wise. You are choosing clarity over illusion. You are giving yourself permission to stand in relationships that are real, authentic, and nourishing. You must understand this. Envy and falsehood are not just about other people. They are mirrors reflecting how deeply you value your own journey. If you stay blind to them, you risk being entangled in invisible chains, always second-guessing your choices, always questioning your worth, always carrying battles that were never yours to fight. But when you open your eyes, when you train your heart to see through the surface, you unlock a different kind of freedom. You no longer waste time trying to win over those who secretly root for your failure. You no longer pour your energy into connections that disguise harm as kindness. Instead, you walk with courage, you rise with clarity, you choose truth even when it stings because you know truth will always set you free. So ask yourself, how much lighter would your life feel if you no longer had to guess who is for you and who is against you? Imagine the power of surrounding yourself only with people who clap with genuine joy when you win, who challenge you with honesty, who stand with you not because they need something, but because they believe in you. That kind of circle doesn't just lift you higher, it keeps you unshaken when storms of envy and falsehood rise against you. And that is why you must keep listening, keep watching, and keep learning. Because the more you recognize envy and falsehood in others, the more unstoppable your own growth becomes. And this journey we begin right now will give you the tools to see what has been hidden so you can walk free, strong, and unafraid. The first sign often reveals itself in silence, not the silence of peace, but the silence that follows your victories. When something good happens to you, pay attention to who claps, and more importantly, who doesn't. Real supporters can't hide their joy. They light up when you rise. But envy hides in stillness, in the absence of celebration, in the carefully measured responses that sound supportive but feel hollow. That silence is not harmless. It speaks volumes. It tells you who cannot stand the reflection of their own insecurity when they see you succeed. Recognizing it doesn't mean you stop loving people, but it does mean you stop confusing quiet resentment with quiet respect. Words are another window. Envious people often disguise their bitterness in subtle jokes, sarcastic remarks, or faint praise that leaves you doubting yourself. They might say things like, "You're lucky," instead of acknowledging the effort you put in. They might add a "but" after every compliment, reminding you of what you lack even as they recognize what you've achieved. This is not kindness. This is a strategy to keep you small, to make sure your victories feel incomplete. When you hear such words, don't take them as truth. See them for what they are, reflections of someone else's wounds, not a measurement of your worth. Falsehood often wears the mask of agreement. People who are not genuine will nod along with everything you say, not because they believe in you, but because they want access to you. They study your words, mirror your emotions, and pretend to stand with you. But when the pressure rises, they vanish. True character is revealed in conflict, not in comfort. If someone cannot challenge you with honesty, if they never disagree, never push you toward growth, there's a good chance their loyalty is not real, it's conditional. And conditional loyalty will collapse the moment it costs them something to stand beside you. There's also the pattern of energy. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you leave the conversation inspired, encouraged, and lighter? Or do you feel drained, uneasy, and smaller? Envy and falsehood are not always spoken. They can be felt. Your nervous system often detects what your mind tries to deny. If every interaction leaves you questioning yourself, that's not friendship. That's quiet sabotage. Your body knows. Trust the heaviness. Trust the tension. There are signals guiding you away from hidden harm. Another sign is competitiveness that doesn't look like play. Healthy competition inspires growth. Toxic competition rooted in envy is different. You share an idea, they rush to outdo it. You achieve something, they quickly try to minimize it with their own story. Instead of celebrating, they compete for attention, not out of fun, but out of fear that your shine makes them invisible. If you see this pattern, don't waste energy trying to convince them that there's room for both of you to win. Protect your vision, because their envy will never let them see the abundance that exists for everyone. What you are learning to do is not about becoming suspicious of the world. It is about reclaiming your clarity. The ability to see envy and falsehood frees you from carrying burdens that aren't yours. It allows you to love without blindness, to connect without naivety, to walk boldly without fearing betrayal. And the deeper you practice this awareness, the stronger your inner circle becomes. Because when you know what to look for, you don't just avoid harm. You attract truth, you draw honesty, you create a space where only genuine hearts can stay. That is the power of recognition. It is the shield that protects your growth and the filter that keeps your future clean. Notice how envy often hides behind forced support. Some people will say all the right words, but if you listen closely, their tone tells the truth. Their congratulations sound thin, their excitement feels practiced, and their eyes fail to match their smile. This is the kind of praise that doesn't lift you, it unsettles you. It makes you question why something feels missing in the exchange. That gap between their words and their energy is not your imagination. It is the shadow of envy revealing itself in ways they can't control. Trust that perception because it will protect you from mistaking false encouragement for real loyalty. Another sign is inconsistency. Someone may be warm and generous when you are struggling, but distant and cold when you rise. They are present when you need comfort, but absent when you need celebration. This contradiction is a hallmark of envy and falsehood. True hearts don't change with the seasons of your life. They are steady through joy and pain alike. When you notice someone withdrawing the moment you begin to grow, understand that it is not your growth that created distance. It is their inability to handle it, and you cannot afford to shrink yourself so they can feel steady again. Pay attention also to who changes the subject when the conversation shifts to your success. The ones who truly support you will lean in with curiosity. They will ask questions. They will want to know more because your growth excites them. But the envious will deflect. They will quickly redirect the spotlight, talking about their own struggles, their own wins, or something completely irrelevant just to avoid acknowledging your light. This pattern might seem small, but it speaks loudly. It says, I cannot bear to feed your flame. And when someone cannot bear your light, it is not safe to hand them your fire. Falsehood often thrives in exaggeration. Some people will overcompensate with dramatic declarations of loyalty, promises that sound too good, words that feel too heavy for the moment. They try too hard to convince you they are genuine because beneath the surface they are not. Real support doesn't need to be announced. It proves itself in action. Watch for the ones who speak endlessly of their loyalty but fail to show up when loyalty costs something. The louder the performance, the weaker the truth behind it. There's also the sign of subtle sabotage. Someone envious may not openly attack your dreams, but they will plant small seeds of doubt. They will phrase it as concern. Are you sure you can handle this? Or maybe you should wait. It might not work out. On the surface, it sounds like care, but if you listen deeply, you'll feel the weight of limitation hidden inside. True allies may challenge you, but their words push you upward. False concern, rooted in envy, pulls you downward. The difference is in how it makes you feel, empowered or diminished. Never ignore that difference. Recognizing these signs is not about judgment. It is about liberation. It is about refusing to confuse comfort with truth, words with action, or presence with loyalty. When you can see envy and falsehood clearly, you take back your power. You stop giving your energy to relationships that cannot hold your vision. You stop bending yourself to fit into spaces that were never safe for your growth. And the moment you step into that clarity, you rise lighter, freer, and unshakably focused on what matters most: your purpose, your peace, and your unstoppable journey forward. There is another sign that reveals itself in how people handle your vulnerability. When you open your heart and share your struggles, the envious listener might appear supportive on the surface, but they will use your openness as quiet ammunition. They will remember your weaknesses, not to help you grow, but to remind you of them when you begin to rise. They may comfort you in your low moments, yet later echo those same struggles to undermine your confidence. True allies guard your vulnerabilities like treasures. False ones keep them like weapons. Pay attention to how people hold your pain. It will tell you whether their heart is safe for your future. Envy also shows up in patterns of imitation. There is a difference between being inspired by you and trying to become you. Inspiration honors the source. Imitation hides it. When someone constantly mirrors your choices, your style, your words, and never acknowledges where it came from, it is often envy disguised as admiration. They are not celebrating your uniqueness. They are competing with it in silence. This is dangerous because it blurs the lines of authenticity. And while you may feel flattered at first, over time, you will notice that their imitation is not about growth, but about erasing your distinction. Guard your originality, for it is the very thing envy tries to steal. Another sign is disproportionate joy at your setbacks. Watch who suddenly becomes more talkative, more available, or strangely energized when you fail. Some people find relief not in their own progress, but in your pauses. They may not say it aloud, but their comfort in your struggle is their quiet confession. Real supporters lean in when you rise, and they stand close when you stumble. But those who thrive on envy often reverse it. They stand back when you succeed and step forward when you fall. If someone's presence increases in your pain but disappears in your triumph, you have already seen their true face. Falsehood can also be felt in the absence of accountability. Those who envy you or secretly oppose you will resist taking responsibility when they hurt you. They will twist words, rewrite events, and place the blame on you for noticing their betrayal. They avoid directness because truth threatens the mask they wear. In contrast, genuine people may stumble, but they admit, they apologize, and they repair. Accountability is the proof of authenticity. The refusal of it is the signature of falsehood. When someone cannot be real about their wrongs, they cannot be trusted with your rights. Another powerful sign lies in energy shifts when you speak your dreams aloud. Share a vision of what you want to build and notice the atmosphere. Real supporters will breathe life into your words. They will lean in with encouragement, offering energy that fuels your courage. But envy cannot hide its reaction for long. A face may tighten, eyes may dim, or a subtle withdrawal may occur. Even if they say the right things, the vibration will feel off. Dreams are spiritual currency, and how others handle them shows whether they come with open hands or closed fists. Protect your visions from those who secretly resent their brightness. Recognizing these truths is not about paranoia. It is about clarity. It is about living free from the shadows that drain your energy. The moment you sharpen your awareness, you stop confusing imitation for admiration, pity for care, or flattery for loyalty. You stop allowing envy to occupy the space meant for love. And as you step into this clarity, you discover the most liberating truth of all. Your spirit already knows who is real and who is not. You only need to trust it, follow it, and let it guide you toward the relationships that will truly honor your light. Envy often disguises itself as concern, appearing as advice that feels cautious, hesitant, or overly critical. Listen closely to the motives behind the words. When someone repeatedly questions your choices, not to help you improve, but to make you doubt yourself, you are witnessing envy in action. These are the voices that plant hesitation, not guidance. They make you pause, second guess, and sometimes even abandon what your heart knows is right. True allies do not lead you into doubt. They illuminate possibilities, challenge you to rise, and trust you to make the best decisions for yourself. When words feel heavy with hidden agendas, honor the warning. That heaviness is a sign that energy is being drained from your growth. Observe the patterns of comparison. Envy thrives on measuring your life against another's rather than celebrating differences. People who secretly resent you will highlight what they perceive as gaps in your success or emphasize their own achievements to outshine yours. They may ask, how did you manage that? Or remark, I wish I had that opportunity, not from genuine curiosity, but to subtly suggest you are not as exceptional as you feel. Recognizing these patterns allows you to disengage from invisible competition. Your path is not theirs to define. Your victories are not diminished by anyone's envy. Understanding this truth protects your focus and preserves the energy that fuels your progress. Body language is another lens through which envy and falsehood reveal themselves. Subtle micro-expressions, tightened lips, fleeting eye shifts, posture that distances rather than embraces, speak louder than words. Humans are wired to communicate unconsciously, and envy often escapes verbal disguise. The unease you feel around certain people is a signal, not an overreaction. Trust it. The mind may rationalize or excuse, but your instincts are tuned to detect imbalance. Honoring these physical cues creates a natural filter, allowing you to recognize when energy is being redirected away from authenticity and towards subtle manipulation. Notice how falsehood manifests in reliability or the lack of it. People who are not genuine rarely follow through on promises when it counts most. They may commit in moments of convenience, but disappear when action demands courage or integrity. Reliability is a silent measure of character. When someone repeatedly fails to deliver without good reason, it's not just an inconvenience. It is evidence of inconsistency, a sign that their loyalty is conditional. Their intentions misalign with truth. Recognizing this protects you from investing trust where it will not be honored. Subtle emotional manipulation is another signal. Envious people may guilt, shame, or subtly provoke you, often under the guise of joking or helpful advice. Their comments may be crafted to trigger insecurity, self-doubt, or internal conflict. These moments may feel small, but over time they erode confidence and clarity. Awareness of these manipulations allows you to step back, analyze intent, and respond with firm boundaries rather than reactive emotion. Boundaries are not walls. They are the armor that allows your energy to remain intact. The ability to discern these truths strengthens your inner vision. It teaches you to observe, feel, and assess the energy that surrounds you without judgment. Each recognition builds resilience. Each insight reinforces clarity. The more you practice seeing through envy and falsehood, the sharper your discernment becomes. You start to gravitate toward those whose hearts and intentions are aligned with growth, honesty, and support. Your journey becomes less burdened by hidden agendas, more illuminated by genuine connection, and increasingly guided by the unshakable certainty of your own purpose. The clarity you cultivate now is the foundation for a life unclouded by deception and unbound by the shadows of envy. One of the most revealing signs of envy and falsehood lies in emotional inconsistency. Some people will respond warmly one day and coldly the next, not because life has changed, but because their feelings toward your success fluctuate between admiration and resentment. This unpredictability is not random. It is a reflection of internal struggle. Envy distorts loyalty and creates emotional turbulence around those who shine. When you feel this shift, when warmth turns to subtle distance without cause, take notice. Your energy is precious, and it cannot thrive in spaces controlled by unstable hearts. Recognizing this pattern allows you to protect your focus, your confidence, and your peace of mind. Observe how others handle your achievements. True supporters celebrate openly and encourage relentlessly. They feel joy at your victories because your growth reminds them of what is possible for everyone. Those who envy you react differently. They minimize, downplay, or even redirect attention to themselves. Their congratulations may carry a tone that makes you doubt the authenticity of their joy. Envy always seeks to subtract from your light rather than add to it. Awareness of this distinction is not cynicism, it is empowerment. It allows you to invest your trust in relationships that magnify your strengths rather than quietly erode them. Pay attention to the subtle ways falsehood emerges in conversation. Lies are not always dramatic or obvious. Often they are small distortions, half-truths, or selective omissions. These are designed to mislead without confrontation, to bend reality so that your perception is clouded. Detecting these patterns requires presence, attentiveness, and trust in your intuition. When you notice repeated inconsistencies between what someone says and what they do, you are witnessing the footprint of deception. Acknowledging this footprint allows you to choose clarity over confusion, truth over illusion, and alignment over compromise. Another revealing sign is how people react to your boundaries. Envy and falsehood often show themselves when you assert limits. Someone who respects you will honor your space, your choices, and your pace. Someone whose heart is not genuine may resist, push, or manipulate to test whether you will yield. Their reaction is a reflection of their need to control rather than support. Recognizing these moments helps you reinforce boundaries not as walls, but as shields that preserve your energy and allow your growth to flourish unimpeded. Each boundary you hold is a declaration of self-respect and a refusal to let envy dictate your direction. Consider also the patterns of attention. Genuine people give presence without condition. Their focus is steady, unforced, and encouraging. Envy distorts attention. It arrives when convenient for them, disappears when it does not serve their ego, or surfaces only in comparison to your achievements. Your emotional radar can sense these shifts long before words confirm them. Trusting this radar strengthens your discernment. It teaches you to read energy, to evaluate authenticity, and to gravitate naturally toward those whose presence uplifts rather than undermines. The power of recognizing envy and falsehood lies in the freedom it grants you. It sharpens your awareness, fortifies your boundaries, and clarifies your connections. Each insight is a step toward a life where your energy is not diluted by hidden agendas. Each realization strengthens your inner compass, enabling you to invest fully in people and opportunities that resonate with truth and integrity. The more attuned you become, the more you create an environment where authenticity thrives and where your spirit can rise unencumbered, unstoppable, and fully aligned with the life you are meant to claim. The way people respond to your confidence can reveal more than their words ever will. Some will genuinely celebrate it, feeling inspired by your courage and growth. Others, silently threatened by your strength, will attempt to undermine it, often in the smallest ways. A compliment may feel sharp, a question may feel probing, and a joke may carry a hidden sting. These subtle shifts are the fingerprints of envy. They are not about you. They are about someone else's discomfort with your light. Recognizing this allows you to detach from their insecurities and reclaim the power that is rightfully yours. Watch how actions align or fail to align with words. People who are genuine follow through without needing constant reminders. Their support is consistent, not conditional. Those who are envious or false often say the right things, but their deeds tell a different story. Meetings are missed. Promises are forgotten. Encouragement is absent when it matters most. The disconnect between words and actions is never random. It is a signal, a pattern that repeats itself quietly but persistently. By noticing this, you can protect your energy and prioritize those who prove their loyalty through both word and action. Envy often thrives on comparison. The subtle attempts to measure you against them or others are meant to diminish your accomplishments, to make your victories feel less significant. They may comment on how someone else does it better, or how luck, timing, or circumstance played a larger role than skill or effort.